Yeah, well, you're very good at getting the conversation going on LinkedIn and getting some debate happening, using a bit of a light-hearted touch to pull people into the conversation, which is brilliant. And I really appreciate you doing that. Um, the particular meme in question was basically looking at the hidden risks, hidden costs, and basically kind of like hidden contracting that so often exists within services procurement, or the statement of work kind of spend within organizations. And that's what I want to talk about today. There's a few kind of questions that we started going back and forth on LinkedIn. Then we were like, hey, let's just do this in another podcast. So I think it was the right thing to do. What I'm going to briefly try and do is share that meme just so anyone who's watching this can get an idea of it, of what we're talking about. So this is the meme of a project manager under a statement of work with a mask on being unmasked by a gallant CW program manager to reveal, as always, the unexpected villain in the story, a Staff Aug worker billing $75 an hour more than the Staff Aug rate card. Naughty, naughty, happens all the time. We've all seen it. So great meme, love it. Let me just stop sharing there, bring us back. So that topic is something that spawned a bit of a debate and a conversation between you and I, because I started rattling off a few questions to you. And I appreciate sometimes when you're posting stuff and it might be like you're at different time zones and things like that. And I was like, bam, 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 here's some questions. You were like, oh, hang on a minute. I like to think about some of these. These are quite deep questions, which is obviously why we're here to discuss them today. But immediately I saw that. I mean, it's not that long ago. You and I were at in Texas for CWS Dallas, and we get to talk at these events and listen to what's going on in the market. And my kind of reaction to seeing that was like, how many people actually care about this? Like what percentage of the market is aware of it? But not only aware of it, it feels like it's a problem that needs to be solved. And not only that, but is truly motivated to do something about it. That was my first question of saying, okay, you've got these services procurement, the services procurement spend might sit in different categories. Some of it might be seen as like SOW spend, depending on how it's termed, that sits alongside maybe some of the contingent workforce activity. It sits in different places in different businesses, this magical world of services procurement. But effectively, under these statement of work engagements, sometimes there are hidden costs, hidden risks, and kind of like bad practices. Firstly, to expand the question a little further, what sort of percentage of companies that you deal with, or that you've seen, or that you hear of in the market, do you think that is happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a vast majority of companies have misrepresented, statement of work workers, workers that are staff aug, that are truly staff aug based on either their treatment, their usage, their engagement model, that are brought in under a statement of work. Despite that, I think most are doing that in one form or another, whether that's intentional or just it's just how, intentional or not, right? I think many are doing that. Now, to the second part of, how many are looking to make a change and shift that, yeah, I wish I had numbers because obviously this has been known for a while. In my early days, working for an MSP, 15, 16, 17 years ago, there was this, oh, we need to go after this hidden spend. And it's been a big thing that the industry has stood on for a while. And I think if many companies were motivated to do it, they would have done it already. But it's an enormous shift to go away from the model and the usage and the treatment of the workers, and the suppliers that they have relationships with. Is there a enormous change management effort to go away from what they're used to? So I think companies are interested, but they're not truly serious about making a change in their behavior.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So most companies have the problem. but you're saying under 50% are, really motivated to do something about it.
Yeah, I
But
think that's what I said in my post. I'd say under 50%. I mean, a ballpark figure. I have no we need a solid research firm to figure that out for us. But yeah, d definitely under 50%. And we could talk about the reasons behind that if you want, because there's different motivations behind that are driving that. And I think the interesting thing is that you talk about how many companies are interested in making a change. Well, I think it becomes more nuanced in that because it may depend on your persona, whether you are in HR, whether you're in procurement, whether you're in the C-suite, whether you're just the the engagement manager that's trying to engage talent or trying to engage a service. Your motivation is going to vary across that persona spectrum, right? And who has the actual authority to make that change? You need enough of the people at the bottom of the food chain that are doing the work, executing on a lot of this to really push that up to the true decision makers. And then you factor in the people that own the relationship with these suppliers. A lot of that, I hate to go after them, but the big consulting firms, or maybe it is the smaller consulting firms that are clearly bringing in Staff Aug talent under a statement of work, saying it's services, but it's really, Staff Aug, temporary work. Um, so
I mean,
yeah, a
what
couple thoughts on that.